Welcome back, guys, and happy Red Skull Box Day. So we got the Red Skull box, parts of it on this program, but everybody should have it in their hands physically and enjoying it and making all kinds of crazy decks and having some fun. But let's look at some of the characters. So the first character we're going to look at is Hawkeye. He's 3 recovery, 6 hand size, 9 hit points. 9 seems to be the right amount for a basic human with no special abilities, as Kennedy pointed out on the podcast. Alright, weapon of choice, spend a resource of any type, search your deck, discard pile for Hawkeye's bow, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. I like this. I like that it doesn't just like, oh, his bow magically appears, nothing happens, here you go, boom, have an extra card. You really have a starting hand size of 7. No, I like that. The downside is, unlike Thor and his hammer, which Thor just gets his hammer cost 1. The bow costs 0. So it's probably still the exact same concept. And I like that the bow costs 0. That's really good. Alright, so let's take a look at Hawkeye. So 1, 2, 1. 5 hand size, 9 hit points. Action, tap, exhaust Hawkeye to ready the bow. Okay, so we know the bow's gonna... Okay, so the bow is 0, gives +1 attack and ranged on his arrow attacks. Your hero gets +1 attack and each of your arrows gets ranged. So that makes him a 3 attack. Now, the problem is, I still think it's too low. Like, let's look at the 2 characters with cards that come into play with them. So, where's the shield for Captain America? Okay. So Captain America by himself is a 2/2/2 with the shield. He is a 2/2/3. That is 7. That is the highest starting stats of any character. He also has 11 hit points, which is also nice. Thor, he is a 1/2/2. With his hammer, he is a 1/3/2, which is the exact same as She-Hulk, a 1/3/2. So he requires an extra card to be the same as She-Hulk, which is why She-Hulk is better. Hawkeye, with his bow, he is a 1/3/1. This is just bad stats compared to Thor or She-Hulk, and everybody's bad stats compared to Captain America. Yeah, I think he could have been a 2/2/1. I do not understand why they made him a 1/2/1. But, so, maybe it's to push that aggression more than anything else. But, honestly, I think it's a mistake. I think he should have been a 2/2/1. So, his bow, it's pretty good. His quiver cost 1. You may play an arrow. You may play arrow events attached to this card as if they were in your hand. You can tap this card to search the top 5 cards of your deck for an arrow event and put it face up. Now, this doesn't change the order of your deck. It doesn't change. And I also don't like that. I don't like one, like, a good example is... I don't have one right off the top of my head, but most things that search the top X cards of deck, shuffle the deck afterwards, or put them on the bottom of the deck. I don't like that it leaves them back in the exact same order. But I think this card is severely a good card. Okay, Mockingbird. 3/2/2/3, better stats than the neutral version. When the villain initiates an attack against you, spend a resource of any type and return Mockingbird to your hand. Prevent all damage from that attack. This is wonderful. This gets by charge, because it just prevents the damage. It doesn't stop the attack. Therefore, charge will drop off. I like this. She is pretty darn good. Let's take a look at some arrow cards. So we have Sonic Arrow, cost 2, Exhaust, Confuse enemy, and 3 damage. 5 if confused. And then we have the same thing with the shock version. Electric Arrow, cost 2, Exhaust the bow, stun an enemy, deal 3 damage. 5 if already stunned. Pretty much your staple control cards here. Then we have Explosion Arrow, which costs 1, does 3 damage. And you choose a player. So it doesn't have to be Hawkeye. You could choose somebody else. One of your other teammates. You'll do 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. Probably one of the best AoE spells we have so far. I like this. This is a really good one. Alright. Cable Arrow costs 1. Remove 3 thwart. You can ignore crisis icons. Okay. This is a good thwart card that he needed. I feel like he's a little low on thwart, so you may want to take him Justice. Yes, I said it. You might want to take him Justice. Vibranium Arrow, 2 for 6 damage, and it gains piercing. Yeah, it's okay. 6 still feels like a little low for the Vibranium Arrow, but yeah, great little damage. It's gonna be, you're gonna use it every time you get it. Expert Marksman costs 1 for an upgrade, and you can tap it to generate a wild resource for an arrow event. Okay, so and let's just take a look at his kit real quick. Sniper Shot, 3 threat, 3 damage. This is perfect. Going to ask for a better one. Crossfire or otherwise the villain. Gains range. You can spend a wild resource and tap your hero to discard it, and it gives them +2 attack. That's nice. Marked for Death. Has 5 and acceleration. Search your hand deck discard pile for Mockingbird. Place it beneath here, and then return Mockingbird when you finish it. Okay. Might be a great way to get Mockingbird out of the deck if you can't find her right away. Crossfire. 1, 2, 4. Quick Strike. His attacks are piercing, which means they avoid tough, or they remove tough. And then Boost. If this boost resolves during an attack, the attack gains piercing. And then Criminal Past. Flip to Alter Ego. Remove this, or discard the bow and discard. Okay, I'll be honest with this one. You should never do the second one unless you're already tapped because you blocked for some reason, which you shouldn't be blocking with Hawkeye anyways. Because yeah, you can get the bow back. It's going to cost you a resource, and you have to be in Alter Ego form. So you might as well just go to Alter Ego form and remove this from the game, so that way it never comes back, and save yourself a resource. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Hawkeye, what do I think? I like him. I actually think he's a really good character. On the podcast, we had mentioned that aggro seems really strong with him, and I think I'm gonna definitely be making an aggression version of him. I will also make a leadership version because I have to make a leadership version with every character. It's in my contract. But yeah, I'm excited to play some aggression with him. Okay, now for the cream of the crop, the best one. We obviously started out with the least of the two because, well, yeah, Spider-Woman. So let's take a quick look at her set here. So, flip, Spider-Woman, remove. Good. Or place 3 threat on the main scheme. Ooh. Again, I don't think you're going to be defending much with her, so you should be able to just avoid this. It's only heroes that like you want to be able to defend with that I feel like their obligation is even more hard on them because of the fact that you're like, oh, well, I defended, then I drew the obligation. Oh, look, I'm tapped, so I can't do the second one, so I have to take I can't do the first one, I have to take the second one. Or with Hulk, where you just, no, I don't want to, but you don't have a choice with Hulk. Alright. So, her minion is the Viper. 2/2/5. Reduces hand size by 1. That's brutal. The Viper's Ambition. 2, 1 threat per player, so 3, and then just a extra bad card. So this is absolutely nothing special. This is like a generic side mission card. Whoa, she gets characters. Okay. So it looks like she gets Hydras. Ooh, she's gonna be great in the Hydra with the Hydra mod. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Insight 1. When this card is revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme. That is bonkers good. Yes, yes, please. More cards like this. I like this. Very fodder minion. 2 damage makes it easy to get rid of. The 2 attack is scary. It means you want to get rid of them. You do not want to leave them on the table. And that insight is nice because it has a, it affects the game the moment it comes into play. Yeah, nice. I like these guys. I actually like these guys a lot more than I think. Hail Hydra. Treachery. When revealed, each Hydra minion engaged with a hero attacks that hero. Each player who was not attacked this way searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion and puts it into play engaged with him. Wow. Yes. I want to play Legion of Hydra with this set. Oh yeah. Yes, I do. Okay. Obligation set's pretty darn good. So let's take a look at Spider-Woman. Okay. So 3 recovery, 6 hand size, 11 hit points. Actually, probably the same as our boy Cap here. Yep. Okay. Double Agent. Choose 2 aspects instead of 1 during deck building. You must include an equal number of cards from those aspects in your deck. Action, look at the top card of any deck. Limit once per round. So first off, let's look at the action. The action allows you to look at the encounter deck, which can be very, very important. So anytime you go to heal, you might as well look at the top card of the encounter deck. Double Agent. This is not a May. You must, when building her, you must play 2 aspects, and you must include a equal amount of each. So I can't just make a Spider-Woman Justice deck. It has to be a duel. I think that's the only downside. Alright, Spider-Woman 1/1/1. So again, very bad stats. 5 hand size, 11 hit points. Interrupt. When you play an aspect card, Spider-Woman gets +1/+1/+1 until the end of the round. Limit once per round for each aspect. Okay. So, oh, and more importantly, she is a spy. What is Hawkeye? Hawkeye is Shield Avenger. She is Shield Spy and Avenger Spy. Awesome. Very good. So what this means is, so your dual aspects, so you're going to have a lot of cards for 2 different aspects. So on average, you should be able to make her a 3/3/3. Being a 3/3/3 should not be hard. Beyond that, there are other ways to make that more. So let's find out. Let's take a look at the rest of the cards. Anyway, Captain Marvel. 4-cost ally, so it's a 4/2/2/3. Whenever she uses a basic power, so thwart attack, you draw a card. As we saw with Mockingbird, Mockingbird is a 3/2/2/3. Much better on the cost. I actually think I like Mockingbird better. I don't like 4-cost allies that are 3 health. But that draw card is going to be huge, and you're going to play this card because with Spider-Woman, because you want to play as many different aspects in a turn, you want as much draw as you can. So, yes, this card will be played. Do I personally think it's super great? No, but I think it's good. I think it is definitely good. Okay, Finesse. 2-cost upgrade. Exhaust Finesse, generate a wild resource for an aspect card. Okay, now this does cost 2 instead of 1 like Hawkeye, so it's a little harder to get into play. But yes, and you get 2 of them. It is a hero resource. Where Hawkeye is just a resource, but all of his stuff is hero. Yeah, so it might as well say hero resource. Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's, yeah, that's good, solid, perfect. Okay, Apartment. Cost 1 support. Exhaust Jessica. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for an aspect card. Add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. There you go. See, this one shuffles to the deck afterwards. Not puts them back on top in the same damn order. Consistency. Like, consistency would be great if, like, yeah. I'm sorry, but this, yeah. But this card itself, great. Search the top 5 cards for an aspect card. Put it in your hand. Yeah, that's a good card. Okay, now here's her gimmick. She gets 4 aspect cards, and she gets 2 of each. So, let's take a look here. So, first card, and honestly the most important card that we've seen to date. This is Venom Blast. It costs 2. Attack, superpower, hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. This counts as both a Spider-Woman and an aggression card. That's not the most important thing on this card. The most important thing on this card is this. She hit me with her Venom Blast when she thought I was a Skrull. Hurt for a week. Wolverine. Yes, we have the word Wolverine finally in Marvel Champions. Finally, we have a reference to the greatest, the pimp daddy of them all. No, sorry. Yes, I really want goddamn X-Men. Damn it. Okay, so Venom Blast, basic 2 for 5 damage, but when you play it, you have to count into the fact that also it will give her +1. So in essence, this is 6 damage versus 5. Good card. Venom Blast works. With her, you really want low cost cards. So these being all 2 kind of hurt, but we'll get into that. Pheromones. Stun and confuse an enemy. This card is both a Spider-Woman and a leadership card. Awesome. Containment immunity. Heal 3 damage from Spider-Woman and give her tough. That is great. Heal and a tough. So we got damage, we got some heals, we got some control-y bits. Remove so cost 1. Remove a total of 3 threat from among schemes in play. So it's a 4 justice that can't get bigger, but only cost 1 period. Yes, yes, please. Now, there will be some other stuff that I will want to talk about with her, and this mechanics and stuff like that. But let's finish her off real quick. She's also got this card, and she gets 3 of them. This card costs 1. Hero action, ready Spider-Woman. She gains aerial until end of turn. Aerial does not seem to matter one bit in her kit. But, more importantly, you spend 1 and you can ready her. So, imagine you can play both of these. You know, that gives her plus 2, so she's now a 3. And then swing into an attack, play glide, untap, swing into another attack. So let's talk about combinations that we can use. Okay, so I mean, with the fact that she gets to use 2 aspects is really intriguing, and there's going to be so many different decks that you can make. My initial thought was continuing with her starter, which is Justice Aggression. I kind of like that. It gives a little bit of control-y bits, and it gives some damage bits. Honestly, I think that would be perfectly fine. Justice Aggression would probably be fine. But the more I thought about it, the more I started leaning towards Leadership. And the main reason why is because Leadership has multiple 2-cost allies. I also like Justice because you get the Spycrafts, which are cheap, drop onto the field. The problem is the rest of Justice cards are not cheap. So you could go... Honestly, you could go aggro Leadership, using the Leadership for threat removal. Aggro has a lot of low-cost cards, and they actually have a lot of 0-cost cards. This would enable you to boost her up, get some damage in. Yeah, and I think you could go about this 2 ways. Obviously, morale boost is the biggest card in Leadership that I'm looking at. Cost 1, give your hero +1/+1/+1. So it literally says cost 1, give your hero +2/+2/+2. Also, get readies, which are free, and untap a ally is huge. The fact that you can get 2, 3, 0-cost, or 2-cost allies, and Atacop on the podcast had mentioned something very important. If you go Aggression, you get Enraged, which is cheap, increases an ally, will boost her up too. And you will be using Wonder Man because of the fact that he's a 2-cost ally. I'm inclined to agree. I am leaning more towards Aggression Leadership for the main reason that the Leadership will help you with thwarting. The Aggression will be able to do a huge chunk of damage. So, and again, we don't know. There's so many deck ideas with her. You could go like Protection Justice, or I mean, everything could work. But I'm leaning more towards either a high damage build with Aggression Leadership, or a more control build with Justice. High damage with Aggression Leadership, or a control build with Justice Leadership. And I think it's weird that both of the versions that I think will be best will have Leadership, but I think you cannot disregard the power of allies. The allies are so powerful in this game, and Leadership just has the best low-cost allies. So that's my video. That's what we're looking at right now, and I can't wait to see the coming weeks on what people come up with and play these guys against some of the custom villains out there and have some fun. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.